Yo, imagine this. You walk out to your property, expecting peace and privacy, but instead, you're staring down a giant concrete roadblock, your only exit sealed off by the local HOA, and they're laughing, daring you to join or stay stuck. Sound crazy? Well, it happened to me, and they messed with the wrong person. Stay tuned, because in this video, I'm taking you behind the scenes of how $% went full-on authoritarian, how I refused to back down, and how I fought to reclaim what's mine. If you ride with underdogs and love watching justice served, or at least attempted, hit that subscribe button, smash like, and ring that bell. Let's dive in. The sun was low in the sky that evening, casting a golden glow over the pines that ringed my property. I'd spent years building my slice of heaven here. A quiet driveway winding up a hill, a modest gate at the end, a sign that said private road, landowner access only. For years, the only company I kept was the wind in the trees and the occasional deer trotting past. But that calm was about to collapse. It started with a vague letter in my mailbox. No frills, no courtesy. Just cold text printed on cheap white paper. You are hereby notified that your property lies within the boundaries of the Crestwood HOA. You are required to submit membership forms and fees within 30 days. My gut tightened. I flipped through the deed, the survey maps. Hell no, this road was my private driveway. I'd bought the land free and clear with access rights granted plainly. The maps showed zero easement, zero HOA overlay. Still, I shrugged. Maybe it was a clerical error. I tossed the letter on the counter and went on with my day. Days passed. Nothing. Until one morning, I drove toward the gate and stopped. My blood froze. Concrete barricades. 2 massive slabs, freshly poured, blocking the road like a modern-day moat. The smell of wet cement hung heavy in the air. My exit sealed. I stumbled out of the car, staring at the barricade in shock, heart pounding. I looked around. Pines, dirt embankments, no road out but the one in front of me. I tried the gate locked. I tried calling, radio silence. Behind me, at the edge of the driveway, 3 men in yellow hard hats and neon safety vests, sledgehammers and wheelbarrows by their side. I didn't know them. They didn't know me. Their eyes looked bored, like they were sealing a landfill, not someone's home. In the dead silence, a voice rang out, flat, tone-deaf. You got 48 hours to join Crestwood HOA. Otherwise, we widen these slabs and block the road permanently. My blood ran cold. My only exit, their weapon, and I'm sitting there like a hostage inside my own property. That first wave of panic hit hard, but it didn't last, because after the shock came anger, real burning anger. I stormed back to my house, grabbed the deed, the surveys, tax records, everything that proved I owned the land. I took pictures, scanned documents. Within an hour, I was on the phone with a real estate attorney. He listened, silent. Then, they don't have squat. You own it. What you've got here is trespass. Illegal blockade. We'll need to move fast. So I filed notice, sent a registered letter to the HOA board, demanding removal of the barricade within 7 days, or face legal action. That same afternoon, a knock. 2 older men at the gate. A complaint committee chair and an HOA board member. They offered me coffee, tried to sound reasonable, friendly, but their smiles didn't reach their eyes. Look, we don't want trouble, the board guy said. We just want everyone on the same page. Our bylaws require all road users to be HOA members. I let him talk, nodded politely, all while inwardly stifling laughter. You mean all road users, except the ones who own the land? I replied, voice calm but steady. He sputtered, flustered. That's how it's always been. I leaned forward and slid the deed across the hood of my truck. Funny, because I've been using this road for 10 years. Never saw any HOA or bylaws. I own it. For a long second, the older men stared. Then hustle. They turned on their heels and left. No apology. No concession. Just a threat. We'll be back. That night, I sat on my front porch, staring at the darkness beyond the barricades. I thought about all the people, families with kids, neighbors. If I walked in blind trust, They could do this to someone else tomorrow. The power to lock you in or out. That was the real shock. Couldn't sleep. My mind raced. What if this escalates? What if they send more idiots with jackhammers? What if this becomes a bigger war, legal, physical, maybe even violent? But one thing I knew, I'm not backed into a corner. Not quietly, not willingly, because when someone tries to block your only exit under the guise of community rules, that ain't community. That's control. And I was about to push back. Hard. Morning light streamed through the pines as I climbed in my truck, the barricades looming like a tombstone for my freedom. Inside the cup holder, a stack of legal notices, affidavits, a certified letter to the HOA board. I'd given them 7 days. Today was day 8. I turned the key. The engine rumbled, but the road ahead stopped dead. Concrete slabs. No gate. No path. Just a blockade. I sat for a moment, then reached for my phone. First call. The attorney. I described exactly what I saw. He sighed, like he's seen this kind of petty extortion before. We file a motion for immediate injunctive relief. Emergency hearing. We can get those slabs legally ordered removed in 48 hours. Second call. A local news reporter. I'm not proud, but this story was too wild to stay silent. I told him the basics. Landowner, driveway, sealed exit, HOA demands. He asked if I had photos. I sent them. He sounded interested. Is this legal? Why is an HOA acting like a road patrol agency? He asked. No good answer. By afternoon, things escalated. 2 SUVs rolled up. Dark tinted windows. 4 men stepped out. No name tags. No hard hats. Just jackets. Snapback hats. Call signs through earpieces. No friendly chatter. Cold. Sharp. Reminded me of those eviction notice mercenaries on TV. They told me the HOA commissioned them. I asked, commissioned by who? Board? Committee? Which legal entity? Doesn't matter. One spat. We're just here to enforce the order. Enforce what order? I asked. They mumbled something about community safety and membership compliance. Their leader, a tall guy with a stubble beard, looked directly at me. If you don't sign the membership forms, give us access fees, we will expand our blockade, seal off gate, driveway, everything. Permanently. Maybe we install a gate you can't open. My jaw clenched. You might want to check your attorneys, because that's felony level trespass. They laughed. Harsh. Cold. Tell the attorney to write thicker papers. That's when I realized I was dealing with people who didn't take laws seriously. People who thought might equals right. At dusk, I went back inside, heart pounding. The silences in the walls felt different now, heavy, haunted, as though the house itself braced for a fight. I called a few neighbors, old-timers, people who'd lived around the pines for decades. Some said what I was going through wasn't new, that the HOA had been creeping in, pushing older families quietly to join, building pressure. No letters, no legal documents, just pressure. Silent, sinister. One neighbor's voice quivered. They threatened to raise our fees if we didn't sign. My daughter's asthma meds. That's money I can't spare. I realized this wasn't just about one driveway. It was about power, ownership, who gets to control passage, to demand loyalty under threat. That night I made my move. I printed the injunction papers, stapled them, filed them online. Then I drove back to the site with a small video camera and started recording. Every slab, every threat, every face of those men in jackets. I walked to the gate, spoke to the camera. This is my property. These slabs are my exit. Failing to remove them is unlawful. I demand access, effective immediately. I posted the video on my socials, tagged the HOA email, the local news outlet, and several property rights groups. I didn't expect immediate miracles, but I needed public eyes on this. Over the next 24 hours, silence. Then the knock. Loud, aggressive, early in the morning. I open the door. It's a uniformed deputy from the county sheriff's office. 2 more behind him, their faces serious, professional. He hands me a piece of paper. Court order. The judge reviewed the injunction. ordered immediate removal of the blockade, and forbade the HOA or any agents from interfering with my access or requiring membership. I walked to the driveway. The concrete slabs were gone. The pines whispered. The birds chirped. The air tasted sweeter. But just as I thought it was over, I heard the engines, the SUVs, 2 men, that same crew racing up the driveway. I froze. My heart slammed. I grabbed my camera and stepped forward. But instead of aggression, they hesitated. One checked his phone. Another looked over shoulders. They backed away. Dozens of neighbors spilled onto the road, cameras in hand, phones recording. That morning, the pines echoed with voices. "This is private property. Police order. Leave now." I didn't speak. I just stood there, camera rolling, letting their stunned expressions and trembling uniforms tell the rest. They turned, backed down, and left. That day marked the end of the blockade, the intimidation, the threats, but it also marked something bigger, a stand, a message, because when someone tries to block your only exit to force you into compliance, you don't back down. You don't sign under pressure. You fight for your rights, and you win. If you're dealing with similar HOA BS, feel me on this, you don't have to give in. Keep records. Speak up. Demand justice. Make them show their cards. And don't let fear lock you in. If you like stories of people standing up, outsmarting bullies, and walking away free, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who's ever felt boxed in. Because sometimes the only way out is to refuse to be blocked. See you next time.